What if I told you there's a creature that can live inside your body for up to 40 years, causing damage without you even knowing it's there? Nope, this isn't science fiction. For millions of people, it's the reality of an infection with Schistosoma mansoni. It's a parasitic flatworm with a life story that is absolutely fascinating and, frankly, a little terrifying. In this explainer, we're going to unravel the secrets of this tiny organism and its wild journey across the globe. So, to kick things off, let's start with a question. What in the world connects a tiny freshwater snail, just minding its own business in a tropical river, to a high-tech medical clinic in, say, the Netherlands? Well, the answer is the incredible globe-trotting journey of Schistosoma mansoni. And this is no small thing. We are talking about a massive, massive scale here. 251 million people. To put that in perspective, that is more than the entire population of Brazil. That's the estimated number of people infected with schistosoma parasites worldwide. And Schistosoma mansoni is a huge part of that global health challenge.
So, how did this parasite become such a huge global issue? In our first section, we're going to trace its journey. We'll start in the tropical rivers where it thrives and follow it to some really unexpected places it's showing up now, which kind of challenges that old idea of it being just a disease of poverty.
You know, if you've ever traveled to sub-Saharan Africa or parts of South America like Brazil or even the Caribbean, you might have gotten a warning. Hey, be careful about swimming in fresh water. Well, this is why. These are the hot spots for Schistosoma mansoni, the places where it finds the perfect conditions and, crucially, the perfect snail to call home. Okay, but this is where the story takes a really interesting twist. In a country like the Netherlands, where the parasite literally can't survive in the wild, doctors are seeing a totally new kind of patient. It used to be mainly immigrants from endemic regions, but now it's tourists. People who went on an amazing vacation, took a quick dip in a beautiful lake, and had no idea they were bringing home a very unwanted souvenir. So how on earth does a simple swim in a lake lead to an infection that can last for decades? To get that, we need to dive deep into the parasite's absolutely wild two-host life cycle. It's a journey of transformation that is both brilliant from a biological standpoint and pretty brutal. All right, before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's get a couple terms straight. Schistosoma mansoni is an endoparasite. That's just a fancy way of saying it's a freeloader that lives inside its host. But, and this is a key point, it's a metazoan. That means it's a complex, multicellular animal. We're talking about a tiny worm here, not a simple single-celled organism like an amoeba.
Okay, look at this. This is basically the treasure map for this parasite's entire life. But instead of X marking the spot for gold, this map reveals the master plan of a biological manipulator. It shows this intricate dance between humans, snails, and the parasite itself, an organism that has totally perfected the art of survival. Let's follow the map. So it all kicks off when eggs from an infected person end up in fresh water. Those eggs hatch and release these tiny larvae called mericidia. Now, these little swimmers are in a race against time. They have just hours to find and infect a very specific type of snail. Once inside, a single mericidium basically clones itself, multiplying into thousands of the next stage, these infectious, fork-tailed swimmers called cercariae. The snail then acts like a factory, releasing them back into the water where they hunt for and burrow right into human skin. And just like that, the cycle begins all over again.
And here they are, the two masterminds behind this whole operation. On the left, you've got the humble-looking Bionfilaria snail, which is basically a parasite-producing factory. And on the right, you see a drawing of the Cercaria, the parasite's tiny swimming assassins. Without this dynamic duo, the parasite's whole life plan would just fall apart. All right, so the parasite is in. It's successfully invaded its human host. What happens now? Well, you'd probably think the worms themselves are the big problem, but the real story is way more surprising. The disease we call schistosomiasis is actually caused by our own body's immune system freaking out over the parasite's eggs. I mean, listen to this quote from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. It's the absolute key to understanding this disease. The adult worms are like these stealthy spies, hiding out on our blood vessels, trying not to be noticed. But their eggs are like tiny little bombs. And when they get stuck in our body's tissues, our immune system launches an all-out war, causing a ton of collateral damage that leads to serious long-term health problems. And get this, these worms aren't just passing through, they are in it for the long haul. On average, they live for about 3 to 10 years, but some have been found to survive for up to 40 years inside a person. 40 years! That's 4 decades of nonstop egg production. It's just this relentless assault on the body from the inside. So this constant battle between our immune system and all those parasite eggs leads to 2 really distinct phases of the disease. Think of it like a war. The first phase, acute schistosomiasis, is like the initial shock and awe campaign. It's a massive allergic reaction by your body. But the real lasting damage happens in the second phase, chronic schistosomiasis. That's more like a long, drawn-out siege that slowly scars and destroys your organs over years. So, what we have here is a silent killer, an invisible enemy that can cause damage for years without ever being detected. So how do you unmask it? Well, in our next section, we're going to put on our detective hats and look at the cutting-edge tools that doctors use to diagnose Schistosoma mansoni. As you can see from this chart, there's really no single magic bullet test for schistosomiasis. It's more like a detective's toolkit with different tools for different jobs. The old-school microscope is great for some things, but for others, you need high-tech DNA analysis. The main takeaway is that getting a clear picture of an infection often requires a combination of these methods. All right, so once the diagnosis is confirmed, the next logical step is treatment. And this is where the story gets really fascinating. The world has a super effective drug to fight this parasite, but the way it gets used couldn't be more different depending on where you live. In countries where this is a widespread problem, the strategy is all about public health. It's called mass drug administration. Basically, huge groups of people are treated with the drug praziquantel all at once to bring down the overall disease level in the community. But in a place like the Netherlands, it's a completely different ballgame. It's all about precise, individualized care. Doctors actually wait a crucial 6 to 8 weeks after someone might have been exposed because the drug works best on adult worms. Then they give a very precise dose and do follow-up tests to make absolutely sure the cure worked. But treating people who are already sick is only one part of the solution. The real goal, the holy grail, is prevention. How do we stop this parasite dead in its tracks and break its vicious cycle for good? Let's take a look at the future of the fight against schistosomiasis. So what can we actually do? Well, on a personal level, it's pretty simple. Be smart about where you swim when you're traveling. But on a global scale, the solution is much, much bigger. It's about making sure everyone has access to basics like clean water and sanitation. And it's about investing in the research we need to find new, better ways to fight this disease. If we do all that, we can break the cycle. Just so you know, all the information we've been talking about today was pulled together using a Gemini deep search. If you want to take a deeper dive into the data and the studies, we've put a complete list of our sources in the linked Notebook LM document for you. We started this whole explainer with a question, remember? What connects a freshwater snail in Africa to a clinic in the Netherlands? And I think we've learned the answer isn't just a parasite, it's us. It's our interconnected world. In an age where you can get on a plane and cross a continent in hours, we can't afford to think of diseases as their problem anymore. They're our problem, and it's going to take a truly global effort to solve them. If this explainer opened your eyes to the crazy hidden world of parasites, do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. We do deep dives like this all the time, and we'd really love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. Have you ever traveled to one of these endemic areas? What do you think about the global fight against these kinds of neglected tropical diseases? Let us know. Thanks for watching.